Hello, love, and welcome to another ASMR Quantum Human Design session. In today's session, we're going to be looking at Mercury Retrograde energies for April 2024, and just bringing that to your conscious awareness so that you can be mindful of the energies that are going to be at play for April 1st through the 25th. And actually it's a little bit more than that because of the shadow phases before and after. So we have some black tourmaline here on this necklace. And this is one of the crystals I tend to work with during Mercury retrograde and wear this necklace as it helps to clear any dense and negative energies, but it reminds me to be mindful of some of the energy dynamics at play. The black tourmaline helps to balance your chakras and meridians, and it grounds your spiritual energy. So we're going to be working with the 3 gates today that Mercury is going to be highlighting and activating during its travels. And I know that Mercury gets a bad rap. We tend to blame Mercury retrograde for everything. It's not something to dread or fear, but it is something to be mindful of. So that's what we're going to work with today. We're going to talk about the 3 gates, and we're going to clear out the unbalanced expression, share what the lesson is for each gate, and then speak into the optimal expression. And hopefully that will empower you to feel more in control of the energies at play. Mercury governs or rules our communication, all forms, all types of communication, written, oral, technology. And as I said, it's not a time to just automatically assume things are going to go awry, but it is a time to go inward, to reflect and go into introspection and slow down, and to be mindful and cautiously, intentionally choose our words. It's a time to really not make decisions or sign contracts or make big movements forward, but to be more flexible and to be more patient, as things can not go as planned. Things can go not as expected, and we just need to have an awareness and patience during this time. So the opposite of the swift bird. Instead of being swift, it's a time to slow down and reflect and reanalyze and review, realign. Every area of our life. So Mercury goes retrograde about 3 to 4 times a year. And during this cycle, I just encourage you to come back to this session if you find yourself in those moments of WTF, what is happening? Because I feel personally that having an understanding of the energy dynamics takes some of the unknowing, which can kind of feel unsettling when we don't know. It takes some of that pressure away, it takes some of that away. And when we have that awareness of, oh, that's this playing out, and we have language to that, when we understand what that is, gives us some of that empowerment back to understand what's playing out. And it takes some of the personalness out of it. Like, this isn't personal, this is just energy dynamics. And it gives us the ability then to be more patient, to be more understanding, to be more compassionate with ourselves and with others. There are 3 gates that Mercury is going to be retrograde in. And the first one, for a brief time, the shortest time out of the whole cycle, is the gate 3, the gate of innovation. And so, like I said, we'll be going through the optimal expression, the unbalanced expression, and the lesson for this gate. And this is on the Sacral Center, the Evolution Center in Quantum Human Design. And then the next theme, that gate, archetypal energy that Mercury will be moving through, is the gate 42, which is the gate of conclusion. Like I said, we'll go deeper into these in a moment. The gate of conclusion, gate 42. And then the third is the gate 51, the gate of initiation. So we have two sacral gates, our life force, workforce energy, and then the will center. So these are all, and we're in Aries season, so this is all fiery, passionate energy. And this sacral is a motor, and the will center is a motor. There's 4 motors. These are 2 out of the 4. So just to put that into perspective as well, to give the energy behind these activations. So you may have this defined in your chart, you may not, but regardless, that's what the transits do. If you have it defined in your chart already, you may not notice any type of amplification of this energy, or you may, depends. If you don't have it activated in your chart, you still have it, but you're getting the flavor of that energy by Mercury activating these gates. That's what the transits do. Whatever's not defined in our chart, the transit is temporarily activating that, which gives you the ability to experience that energy. And if you want to become more aware of the transits and track what it is you're feeling or experiencing on a weekly basis, then I recommend Karen Curry Parker's Quantum Human Design Evolution Guide. She puts this guide out every year, and it has the sun transits, the weekly sun transits, because different planets move through the different gates at different speeds, but each week the sun moves through a different gate. And then the full moons and the new moons and the eclipses are in here. And then this year she also put in the Mercury retrogrades. So this is a great book to either journal in or to just follow along and write in your own journal. But it gives you a better understanding of what's happening in the celestial weather. And then, of course, if you want to dive deeper into the gates themselves and reflect on the energy, you can find those and much, much more. This is another resource for you, is the Encyclopedia of Quantum Human Design. All that information, the evolution guide shows you the transits. That's what that specifically is for. This is just a good resource if you're wanting to just dive deeper into understanding the elements in your chart. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our throat chakra, since Mercury is all about communication, and we want to be cautious and intentional. Not cautious as in you're afraid, but cautious as being intentional and deliberate with what you're sharing, what you're speaking, what you're saying during this time. Which, let's be real, that would be advice for any time to think before we speak. But especially during times when we know that there's an energy at play that can be interfering with our communication, and there can be more misunderstandings and more kind of amped up and elevated energy and unnecessary miscommunications or conflicts. So we just want to be extra aware, extra cautious. So what we're going to do is use our Lapis Lazuli throat chakra, which the Lapis Lazuli is a stone for opening up our third eye, so we can see with a divine eye, and it helps us to balance our throat chakra so that we can feel, not especially those of you with open or undefined throats, the throat is under pressure to speak and to share all the time. So we're just going to clear out, and not only the throat chakra, the throat center, the activation center, but also the unbalanced expressions of each of these three gates that Mercury will be transiting through. And then we're going to seal in, or kind of anchor in, the optimal expression in hopes that this is like a cellular memory and imprinting and embedding, that when these start to come up, when these themes start to come up, you can immediately recognize it. So for the gate 3, the gate of innovation, the unbalanced expression here with this archetype can feel like this pressure to take your innovative and probably amazing idea, wanting it to be out in the world or shared immediately. There can almost feel like a panic that you have to share this. So we're going to scoop out any pressure, any need to push against right timing that's forcing you to feel like you need to create and innovate and put this forth in the world now, to maybe share at the wrong time with the wrong people. This gate 3 energy is very innovative. It is birthing something new. It's a process that can't be rushed or forced. We're making room for understanding the lesson and the challenge of this energy, of this gate 3 innovation, is that understanding of divine timing, of right timing. This energy is transformational. It has to be shared and put into action when the world is ready. That way it can be received. So there's a big component of divine timing there. Okay, and we'll take our black tourmaline, our raw piece of black tourmaline, and we're going to speak out and smooth in the optimal expression of this energy. So if you find yourself wanting to share during this time, it's not that you don't get to share your idea, but you need to hold on to it until the timing is right and not force or push against that. So we're going to speak out and smooth in the optimal expression. The optimal expression is the ability to embrace and integrate new ideas, new ways of doing things, and to trust your innovative ideas that come to you, and stay in appreciation for those things, for your unique way of thinking, So we're smoothing in the optimal expression of this energy, embedding this into your memory, that you can embrace new ways and new ideas of thinking, new ways of doing things in the world from other people, and your unique way of thinking and your unique way of doing things, if it's shared at the right time, then can also be received. And you're just cultivating the patience to wait for perfect divine timing and having the faith that you will be able to get to share your innovations and your ideas. Okay, so our next gate is the gate 42, right here of the sacral. The gate of conclusion. And we're going to start by clearing out the unbalanced expression of this energy, scooping that out, which is this feeling of procrastination, putting off things, not completing the things that you start, which can cause this overwhelm and this paralysis of like, there's too much to do, I don't know where to begin, where to start, where to finish, and then it just piles up and piles up and piles up. It's the inability to complete something, and not in a time bender way where time benders or manifesting generators have a lot of projects and they need to jump from thing to thing, and sometimes there are things that go unfinished because of just their flow and divine timing. So it's not, so you can check in and see, am I not finishing this because I'm procrastinating or I'm making excuses, or is it really not time to finish that thing, but I will get back around to it? There's a difference there in that energy. But the lesson here with the gate 42 is to learn to bring things into completion. Because when we complete something, when we finish something, not only is there that satisfaction of having accomplished something, completed, checked it off, but what happens is that actually makes room and space for more things to come in. So you could be asking the universe for something, and there's no room for you to receive it because there's too many unfinished projects, unfinished things happening. So during this time of this retrograde, you can reanalyze and reflect and reevaluate all the things in your life that are not complete. And that could be on the material plane. You could be clearing out your garage or your basement or your attic or your digital files on your computer. That could also look like knowing that something needs to come to an end, like a job or a relationship, or scooping out anything that's blocking you from seeing all of these things. And like I said though, remember, it's not the time to make decisions about maybe ending a relationship or a job and take action on it. That's not what this period is about. This period is about reflecting and reviewing and reanalyzing all of these things. I feel like it's safe for you to probably clean out a closet or your garage or something to that effect. But when it comes to big things, like making big decisions about signing a contract, or again, switching jobs, or having something to do with relationships, I would just encourage you to wait until after the retrograde period is over. And also don't let the pressure of something that's unfinished, because it's unfinished, don't just go off frenetically finishing things or wanting to complete things if it's not the right timing again. Just tapping into using your intuition and trusting divine timing. So we're gonna speak out and smooth in optimal expression of this energy, of this Gate 42 conclusion. So we are smoothing in your wisdom and discernment to be able to know when it is time to complete something. And that can be, again, something on the material plane, something in your relationships, in your career, whatever it is. Sealing in, smoothing in, and calling in that wisdom and knowingness of what to complete and when. And also there's the energy here that if you get called in or asked or invited to respond to something that needs to be completed, that you have the ability, the capability, the competence, and the know-how to be able to bring that thing to the end of it, to a conclusion, to completion. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been called. You wouldn't have been asked. So, believe in yourself. Believe in your wisdom. Okay, and our last gate is the Gate 51, the Gate of Initiation, which in traditional human design is called the Gate of Shock. So this gate kind of gets a bad rap in a way, and it can be this shocking, unexpected event or things that happen, but there are many things that can be shocking and unexpected that aren't necessarily negative or bad. So let's rewrite or reframe our default of this energy into thinking that it necessarily has to be something bad or that we would consider bad. So we're just going to scoop out any negative energies and thought patterns around this specific gate, this theme of initiation or shock. And to not let unexpected events cause you to lose your faith. We're scooping out the thought that unexpected events, unexpected things happening, situations in your life cause you to lose connection to your true soul purpose and your connection with source or spirit. We're scooping out any prior experiences with this energy that may have made you bitter or angry with spirit, with source, with God, whichever name you want to put there, for unexplainable or inexplicable things happening that make no sense. We're scooping all of that out now. This is where we get to practice that life is happening for us and not to us. So this is the opportunity that we get to work with this energy, and that we may not understand why all the things happen the way that they do, but that we're trusting that the universe always has a plan, always has our back, and we can use these initiating or shocking, unexpected experiences as part of the catalyst for our growth, to stepping into our fullest and highest, best selves, to use it to empower us instead of disempower, to strengthen us. Those of you who have this energy defined in your chart have this element, this beautiful energy of initiating others into their highest potential, just by you being you. How beautiful is that? Initiating others into their higher purpose, into their higher selves, using the stories and experiences that you've been through to empower and initiate others. It's like you do it for yourself first, and then you're able to do it for others. That's why nothing we go through is wasted. There's a purpose for everything, even though sometimes we don't get to know what that is in the moment. So we're going to speak out and smooth in the optimal expression of this energy, which is to let these events that happen, that seem shocking, unexpected, out of nowhere, as catalysts for your growth, for your greatest timeline, your greatest and best life, your highest purpose, and to let it actually deepen your connection and deepen your faith with Source. Okay, love, last but not least, we're going to take our throat center, our activation center quantum essence, and we're going to smooth and seal it over your throat center as just a protective layer to remember to slow down, speak intentionally, deliberately, cautiously, to not take things so personal. Well, ever. It's a practice, but specifically during this time, as this is a time where miscommunications, things not going according to plan, can get very amped up. Especially with technology, just be more gracious, more compassionate, more loving towards yourself and towards others. And that's truly something that we all can be working on at any time of the year. But definitely, specifically, we wanted to bring an awareness to this during this time so you can come back to this and remember, and maybe notice and take note of, do you have the gate 3, the gate 42, and the gate 51 activated in your chart? If you don't, then maybe you journal or take note of this season, this particular month of time, and see what you notice, how you feel personally. If you observe and see how you see it playing out with others, your friends, your family, your co-workers. Kind of crazy technology stories, things not working how they should be. Just having to pivot and detour is common during this time. But it is just a valuable lesson. It's an invitation from the universe, from the planets, to slow down, to reflect, to not make decisions if we don't have to. So I'm just going to seal this in again to your throat, and also specifically your sacral, since 2 of the gates are on your sacral center, and then the will center as well. We're just going to smooth this in. So, just reminding that you can be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. And if you're the one with the new ideas and the new way of doing things, trust that at the right time you'll get to share it and it'll work out. That's our gate 3. And gate 42, just using this time to reflect and reanalyze and review all the things that you could clear out and complete in your life, making space, making your energy lighter in your body, around you. Everything is energy, and energy is everything. So even cleaning out a closet or a drawer, it's amazing how much it can shift and move and lighten your own energy. So do some spring cleaning and complete some things so that way you're creating this fresh, new, cleansed and cleared space to allow more of the things in your life that may be more aligned with you, that you actually have room to receive the things that you're calling in. And last but not least, our 51, initiation. How are the things that have happened that are or going to happen that may be shocking and unexpected? How has that been a catalyst for your growth? How has that been a starting point for the next stage, next phase, next level of your expansion into your highest self, into your higher purpose, into your most expanded, beautiful, magnificent, divine being self that you are? How can you use that previous event, or if something happens during this time, how can you use it to empower you? How is it going to make you stronger and more resilient? And then what do you get to do with that experience and that story? Everything that we go through is first for ourselves, for our growth and evolution, and ultimately for somebody else that the universe is going to bring across our path that's going to need to hear that exact thing, that exact story, that exact experience, and see how you not only survived, but you thrived. And you'll be their inspiration and their hope. Okay, love. May you come back to this video during this Mercury Retrograde cycle anytime you need these reminders. You are all set to either carry on with your day or sink into a deep, restful, restorative sound sleep to wake up tomorrow refreshed, renewed, and reknown. May you remember, you are light, you are loved, you are love. I know who you are in truth. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. You are free, you are free, you are free. I am you. You are me. And we are one.